The NBA trade machine is buzzing, and this time it's about the Golden State Warriors making a surprising play for San Antonio Spurs rookie Stephon Castle. At just 19 years old, Castle has been turning heads with his defensive versatility and poise well beyond his years. Now, rumors suggest the Warriors could make a bold move to bring him to the Bay. For a team searching for the next cornerstone to support Stephen Curry's final championship push, Castle could be the perfect fit. But what would Golden State have to give up? Young talent? Draft picks? Or a veteran piece? If this trade idea gains momentum, it could reshape both franchises and shake the balance of power in the West. The NBA trade rumor mill is spinning once again, and this time, the Golden State Warriors find themselves at the center of another explosive scenario that could change the entire course of their franchise and possibly shake up the balance of power in the Western Conference. The story that is catching fire right now surrounds a bold trade idea that sends San Antonio Spurs rookie guard Stephon Castle to Golden State, pairing the young, two-way talent with none other than Stephen Curry, while giving the Warriors a fresh injection of youthful star power as they look to navigate what could be the final stretch of Curry's legendary career. Now, before we dive into the details, let's set the stage. Golden State is not just any team. They are one of the most successful franchises of the modern era, a dynasty that completely reshaped the way basketball is played. But dynasties don't last forever, and reality is beginning to hit hard. The Warriors have already seen their dominance waver. They're older, they're expensive, and the league around them is only getting younger, faster, and hungrier. Stephen Curry is still performing at an MVP level, but he's 37 years old, and his window to win another championship is closing fast. Draymond Green has battled suspensions, injuries, and inconsistency. Klay Thompson is no longer the same lethal two-way force he once was, and Jonathan Kuminga's future with the team is still surrounded by uncertainty despite his flashes of brilliance. The Warriors are at a crossroads, and their next move might be the most important decision since they first paired Curry with Thompson and Green more than a decade ago. On the other side, you have the San Antonio Spurs, a team in the early stages of building a new dynasty of their own. They struck gold in last year's draft when they landed generational talent Victor Wembanyama, a 7'4" phenom who might already be the most unique player in the NBA. But the Spurs know that building around a player like Wemby isn't just about having one star. They need a backcourt running mate who can defend, create, and complement his skill set for the long term. That's where Stephon Castle came into the picture. Drafted 6th overall by San Antonio, Castle was touted as one of the best defensive guards in the class, a big, strong perimeter stopper with elite instincts, versatility, and the ability to run an offense. In short, he's the type of guard every team dreams of having next to their superstar. So, why in the world would the Spurs even think about moving Castle this early? Well, this is where things get interesting. As much as San Antonio loves Castle's potential, there are whispers around the league that the Spurs are not fully satisfied with their backcourt situation. Castle is still raw offensively, and pairing him with Wembanyama might take years to truly flourish. On top of that, the Spurs are eyeing veteran star guards who can speed up their rebuild. Names like Trae Young, Darius Garland, and even Donovan Mitchell have all been floated as possible long-term fits for Wemby. And if the right offer comes along, San Antonio might be tempted to move Castle in order to bring in more established talent. Enter the Golden State Warriors. What if they step into the picture with an aggressive offer? What if, instead of sitting back and watching their dynasty fade, they push all their chips in on a blockbuster deal that sends Stephon Castle to the Bay Area? The proposed trade idea goes something like this. The Warriors would package Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and multiple future first-round picks in exchange for Stephon Castle. At first glance, it sounds wild. Why would the Spurs give up their rookie sensation so soon? But think about it. San Antonio gets a freak athlete in Kuminga who has already shown flashes of stardom. He could be an electric running mate for Wembanyama, someone who thrives in transition, plays above the rim, and gives the Spurs an immediate highlight machine to pair with their French phenom. Moody, meanwhile, brings shooting and wing depth. And with multiple first-rounders on top, the Spurs could have even more assets to either draft young talent or swing for another trade. For Golden State, the idea is crystal clear. Stephon Castle isn't just any rookie, he's a defensive monster in the making. He can guard multiple positions, handle the ball, and most importantly, take defensive pressure off Curry. Imagine Stephon Castle hounding opposing guards while Steph Curry focuses on doing what he does best, lighting up the scoreboard. Castle is also unselfish offensively, and his ability to play off the ball means he can seamlessly fit next to Curry and Draymond. The Warriors would essentially be injecting youth and energy into a roster that desperately needs it, while still keeping their championship core intact. But let's break this down further, because this trade idea has layers that go beyond just names on paper. One of the biggest concerns with Golden State right now is defense. Draymond is still elite when locked in, but he can't cover up for everyone anymore. Klay isn't the same perimeter defender he once was, and the Warriors have been torched repeatedly by young, explosive backcourts across the league. Stephon Castle addresses that immediately. He's long, athletic, and has the mentality of a lockdown defender. The Warriors have been missing that ever since Andre Iguodala retired, and even before that when Gary Payton II couldn't stay healthy. Castle could be the perfect answer to that problem. And here's another angle that makes this idea fascinating: salary cap and financial flexibility. The Warriors are drowning in luxury tax bills. Paying Curry, Klay, Draymond, and Wiggins has left them with very little room to maneuver. Bringing in Castle, who's on a rookie contract, would relieve some of that financial burden. They'd get an impact player without having to pay superstar money right away. This is crucial for a team that needs to reset its books while still competing for a title. Of course, no blockbuster comes without risks. Trading away Kuminga would sting. He's one of the few young players on the roster who has shown flashes of becoming a future star. At just 22, he's improving every year, and there are many within the organization who believe he could eventually take the mantle as the face of the franchise once Curry retires. Moving him now for a rookie like Castle is a gamble. What if Castle doesn't pan out offensively? What if he struggles to adapt to the Warriors' complex system? What if Kuminga turns into an all-star in San Antonio? These are the types of questions that make trades like this so nerve-wracking. But then again, this is the Warriors we're talking about. They've always been bold. Remember when they traded for Andrew Wiggins, and everyone thought it was a mistake? That deal ended up helping them win another championship in 2022. Remember when they drafted Jordan Poole late in the first round, and he turned into a key contributor during their finals run? Golden State thrives on risks, and sometimes those risks pay off in spectacular fashion. And here's something else to think about: Steph Curry's timeline. He's not getting any younger, and the Warriors can't afford to waste what's left of his prime waiting for Kuminga to develop. They need players who can contribute now, players who can defend, make smart decisions, and play winning basketball. Castle might not be a polished scorer yet, but his defense and playmaking could immediately translate to winning. Imagine the potential lineups. Curry at the 1, Castle sliding between the 1 and 2 depending on matchups, Wiggins at the 3, Draymond at the 4, and either a healthy Kevin Looney or another big at the 5. That's a lineup with shooting, defense, versatility, and balance. Off the bench, you'd still have Chris Paul if he stays, plus role players like Gary Payton II and Dario Saric. Suddenly, Golden State looks reloaded, refreshed, and ready to make another deep playoff push.